I welcome you today to the Rise of the Capital Markets and Venture Capital in Cambodia. The event today is a milestone because with the incredible lineup of speakers from the stock exchange, the exchange regulator, the underwriters, the private equity investors, and the entrepreneurs, we will discover the importance and the criticality of efficient capital markets for the development of the economy in the Kingdom of Cambodia. Today, we will highlight equity as an alternative to debt, debt being the main source of capital in the market for Cambodia's companies and businesses. We are also highlighting the encouraging emergence of capital for entrepreneurs and founders, who as a result have brought innovation to the kingdom. Equity capital funds innovation and leads to changes in the economic structure, leads to increased productivity and efficiency, and changes our lives forever. The Cambodian Stock Exchange was inaugurated on the 28th of February 2011 and now has 9 listed stocks and a market capitalization of approximately $2 billion. There are 6 corporate bonds and 2 government-listed bonds. I want to take the opportunity now to congratulate the Kingdom of Cambodia for the launch of the nation's first sovereign bond issue. U.S. capital markets, and by extension the global capital markets, have been and still are an engine for economic growth around the world. I am hopeful that the capital markets in Cambodia also evolve as a major component of the economy and are a key source of financing business and entrepreneurs. Therefore, today we explore the importance of capital markets and foresee the future impact of the economy for the Kingdom of Cambodia. Capital markets are therefore critically important because they finance the economy, allocate risk, and support economic growth and financial stability. They are the most powerful drivers of economic growth and wealth creation. They enable business to raise capital to grow. They are considered the most important source of raising finance for entrepreneurs. They facilitate the movement of capital to be used more profitably and productively to boost the national income. They mobilize savings to finance long-term investment. Historically, a majority of Cambodian companies are rooted as family-run and owned, and therefore transparency and compliance required for listing may be unattractive and burdensome. This has changed with much stricter compliance by government entities such as the General Department of Taxation and the Accounting and Auditing Regulator. As companies are required to improve their corporate governance and compliance, listing requirements will therefore naturally become easier. And companies can easily rely less on debt and then tap the equity markets. Lower listing costs, expansion of trading in dollars, and reduced requirements regarding profitability and shareholders' equity would also encourage more listing. Equity securities or stocks need to become an attractive asset and class of investment, and a means of diversification and reducing risk and improving returns. Cambodians love to invest in real estate, commodities, and cash, and have little present interest in stocks and bonds. Real estate has historically been a high return, but also a high risk asset, especially investment in land. Cash in banks, on the other hand, has been a low risk and high return proposition, while commodities have been a means of speculation, and in terms of gold, a tangible asset as a safe haven. It is time to educate the public and create awareness of the benefit of diversification and of adding stocks and bonds as a further alternative investment. Household equity ownership is a key pillar of equity markets. And in order for the equity markets to grow and be successful, the public will need to embrace stock ownership as a means of wealth creation. In the afternoon session, we showcase the investors, the capital givers, and the entrepreneurs, the capital seekers. For entrepreneurs, startups, and fast-growing companies, the availability and source of sufficient funds to foster growth is one of the most important, if not key, factors of success. Venture capital and private equity is one of the most relevant sources of funding for new ventures and represents a natural financing source for firms pursuing capital-intensive and high-risk investment strategies. There's a saying in the industry, show me an entrepreneur, and I'll show you someone looking for money. So in seeking their 20 to 30% annual returns, the investors this afternoon will discuss what they look for when they are investing in a startup. I especially look forward to hearing from some of Cambodia's entrepreneurs, from when the idea came to them, to creating a business model, seeking and obtaining finance, building a greenfield business from nothing, and how they feel they changed our lives and the way we do business. I think NAM24 would be a good example. We don't want to get off and go to restaurants anymore. We like to order food, little fashion. For instance, we shop online. They were kind of the first that I remember here. So we have a wonderful lineup of entrepreneurs to tell us how they changed our lives. We can also ask them if they achieve the famous saying for entrepreneurs. Entrepreneurship is living a few years of your life like most people won't. So you can spend the rest of the life like most people can't. I want to thank you for coming today. I know it's a little far from the center of the city, and I hope you have an informative and educational day. Thank you very much.
Today, I'm very honored and delighted to have joined this forum on the rise of capital markets and venture capital in Cambodia, which is organized by the American Chamber of Commerce. Excellencies and ladies and gentlemen, initial public offering and listing in the stock exchange is becoming a new funding alternative in Cambodia. The number of listed companies in the Cambodian Securities Exchange has doubled over last 3 years. Cambodia Securities Exchange is now a home to many big name listings such as Akleda Bank, ABA Bank, Royal Group's subsidiaries, RMA, Sihanoukville, Fort, and more. The number of trading accounts have been growing rapidly with a near 20% increase comparing to the time last year. Now we are having 35,000 accounts as of Q3 2022. Likewise, daily trading, average trading value jumped significantly compared to 2021, having an increase of 147% from $265,000 in 2021 to $656,000 as of Q3 2022. I believe capital market growth will speed up significantly and that the target we have set for ourselves will be met in the coming years. These are exciting times for Cambodian capital market. Finally, I'd like to thank everyone for joining and connecting us at this forum today. The event would not have been possible without the participation of everyone. I hope you enjoy the following presentations and discussions. Overall, I'd like to use this opportunity to wish you all good health, safety, wealth, success in your life. Thank you.
Okay, so as most of you knows that CSX was incorporated in 2011, but our history started in 2008. And it takes us 4 years to get the company registered, get the license from the regulator, and finally we had our official operations with the first issuing company listed in our market, which was Phnom Penh Water Supply Authority, the famous IPO and the historical IPO of the kingdom. we get license from the regulator to do 3 major businesses in the capital market. So first is the securities market operator, which means we offer the trading platform for the issuing company getting their share listed on the market and make it available for sale, for trading in the secondary market. So this is our main business, major function. And second business is we are, I think in most countries it is called clearing house. Yeah? So it is the clearing and settlement operator. So after the stock is traded, the transaction, the cash has to be cleared, has to be netting, has to be settled. So our clearing house works on this function. And finally, where do you keep the securities? So another business of us is we provide the electronic system for safekeeping your securities in the electronic platform. So it is 100% scriptless in Cambodia. And we also do the book entry transfer for ownership transfer whenever you have a trading transaction. We have quite a number of members to facilitate the secondary market. For example, we have 11 brokers, which is our member. We have 4 commercial banks acting as the cash settlement agent. And we have some other participants like a registrar, transfer agent, paying agent, bondholder representative, and the most important one that we just recently introduced into our market is custodian bank. Trading in Cambodia Security Exchange, you can use auction trading method or negotiated trading method. In case you don't have the counterparty, then you need to place your order through the auction trading methods to find the counterparty. And in that case, the price that is used for matching, it can be a single price auction or multiple price auction according to the trading session. When you do auctions and it is anonymous, you don't know your counterparty, then you need to select your order type. So we make available 2 order types for auction methods. First is limit order, which means you can set your maximum buying price, or you can set the minimum selling price to the system. But in case you don't care about price, because you care about you can buy and sell it immediately, then you can use market order. You don't have to put the price. Let the system determine the most the best price possible in the market. And in case that you have your counterparty and you negotiated outside the market already, then you can just place a negotiated order, just put your agreed price and quantity and let it match in the system. Daily price limit, it is 10%. Actually, when we started the market, it was 5%. Now we have been, it has been increased to 10% for over a few years, seeing that our market has been growing and our investor need a bigger margin, a bigger space to get the fly fluctuated and gain speculation. So we increase step by step to make sure that it goes well. The trading currency is Khmer Rial, but soon we will allow the USD settlement, which our market participant very insist for. The minimum trading unit is just 1 share, so everyone can access the market without minimum deposit. So you just need enough amount of money and stock right before you place the order. As most of you have known already, that we have 7 listed companies in the main board, which is the board for listing large and well-established company. And we have 2 listed company on the growth board, which is for SME. And we have another market, which is debt equity debt securities or corporate bond. So far we have 8 companies issued 10 bonds. Up to now, 4 of them have been matured, and 6 are outstanding in the market. So we have stock equity listed company from garment factory, water utility, SEZ developer, energy, port service, and many from financial sectors like Akleda Bank, and many other financial companies have listed bonds, like PPCB, PROSA, ABA, and LOLC. And then we also have Telecom and Royal Railway, which is the subsidiary of the Royal Group, issued bond. And SEZ Developer is now also a subsidiary of the Royal Group. Yeah, and for the 2 companies listed in the growth board from construction and engineering, condo developer. If you talk about the market capitalization, of course, if we count only the number of listed issue, our market capital is, if we combine the main board and the growth board together, it's approximately $2 billion US dollar. But if we count full market capitalization, which includes all class of shares that are unlisted, together it will be a $4 billion US dollar. And so far, our capital market has raised approximately $300 million US dollar for those 15 companies. And this is our index. I just provide the data from 2017 because before that it was just a nightmare. Okay, no fluctuation. So, but it is interesting starting from 2017 that I mentioned after we introduced mobile trading system. We receive a lot of new market participants. We receive a lot of new investors. So there were more demand for stock trading. That's why the index, stock price increased rapidly in 2018. So before 2018, our daily trading activity, it's less than $25,000 US dollar per day only. But later on, it increased significantly, and this year, for the first 3 quarters, our daily trading value increased to more than $600,000 US dollar per day. This is the graphic of account, the trading account. So up to quarter 3 of 2022, we have approximately 34,000 accounts. And most of them, more than 80%, are domestic investor. And so for listed company, if you issue shares from the public and list it in the stock exchange, you will receive the income tax reduction up to 50% according to the size of the issuance and the number of tenor if you issue bond. And you will get the tax debt liability waiver up to 9 years if you list in the growth board, and 8 years for the growth board. There is no tax on ownership transfer. Like for real estate, it is 4%, right? For the stamp duty tax. Exemption on capital gain tax. And 0% withholding tax on dividend for the resident. So no tax. But for non-resident, I think it's 14%, but you will get 50% reduction. 50% reduction. And for bond interest, withholding tax on bond interest is also 50% reduction for both resident and non-resident. Other non-tax incentive. So in Cambodia, there is no restriction on the fund flow back and forth, and no restriction on ownership, no foreign restriction on ownership like in Laos, Myanmar, or Thailand. There is a certain percentage of foreign holding restriction for company, but there is no in Cambodia. You can own up to 100% if you can't. Ease of trading account opening, and you can trade via mobile trading system here. So last part is our market development strategy. So our strategy, we focus on 4 main pillars. First is to improve the liquidity. Second is to have to increase the number of products. Third is to ensure that the market is transparent and safe for market confidence and trust. And lastly, we would like to focus on digitalized transformation. We hopefully, at the beginning of next year, we can introduce the margin trading, which allow investor can start trading without 100% of money. They can borrow the money from the security firms and start trading. We will enable the USD settlement. Because the trading so far has to be done in Khmer Ria, settled in Khmer Ria. So we need this to satisfy our customer to eliminate the exchange rate risk. And lastly, we would like to enable the T+N settlement, which means that we will allow some negotiating trading that they would like to settle on this date or that date. It doesn't have to fix at T+2. So it is to support the institutional trading, especially for the debt securities that they need this function. Real estate investment funds, the government bond, cross-border product. The first cross-border product that we would like to introduce is depository receipt. And lastly, is exchange traded funds. So this is the end of my presentations. Thank you very much.
So we were talking about the fact that the government is really enforcing compliance. The General Department of Taxation, the Accounting and Auditing Regulator. So any large taxpayer, for instance, has to have audited accounts and submit them to the MEF. What do you think is still inhibiting companies from listing? Why aren't we seeing more big banks like Cleda or insurance companies or some even the bigger real estate companies tapping the market for equity? What is holding them back?
Okay. We are talking about 2 types of company. One is maybe they are not fully transparent yet. They don't want to open their accounting book. So they need more convincing reasons to go to the market. So in that case, I already mentioned in my slides that we would like them to focus on long-term growth. So if they want to have a sustainable development, they need to change the way of doing business. They need to go transparent. And we are happy that our government is strengthening the transparency through the taxations department to have every company disclose and pay tax fully so that it will be fair to everyone. So in order to capture this, you need to start being transparent and go public. It will support our ambition. And second, for the companies that is already transparent, like the big banks, big companies, so they have their own reason. Like I mentioned, sometimes they think that our market is now still small. They concerns about the liquidity. They concern about the valuation, pricing, something like that. So they wait and see. But now we see the changing situations that because now more more and more big company is showing interest, like Royal Groups. Now there are many 3 companies already of Royal Groups coming, and a lot more is queuing from them. Following our big company listed like Akleda, and yep. So we think that this is like a snowball effect. The first period maybe they are afraid, they wait and see, and now they start seeing big names coming, and then they will start really that, hey, now I should, no more fear, let's go. Yep. So I think I hope that I answered to your questions. Thank you.
You mentioned a custodian bank that you've set up. I was just wondering, where is that regulated and who regulates it, the custodian bank?
The Security Exchange regulator regulate them. So they issue a broadcast on licensing the custodian bank, allowing commercial bank to apply for this license. So far we have one bank, which is Akleda Bank, applying for the license. And we have, if I'm not wrong, 2 more banks are filling the application for that service. Okay.
Great. Thank you so much. And good news, the regulator is coming this afternoon as well. So that's another thing we can bring up. So that's the end of this presentation. So I'd like to invite Mr. Anthony.